Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you something new I have been working on. It's called NLWeb that was announced by Microsoft in last week Microsoft Build event. So let me first start with why NLWeb. While ChatGPT has been around for 2 years plus and over 200 million websites still can't offer the same intuitive chatbot and natural language search experience, right? So that is the origin of the NLWeb. So we have like millions of website, and which is like it does the just a keyword search. It can't talk into the natural language, right? So what is, and now let's talk about what is the NLWeb, right? So NLWeb is just a simple open standard protocol, and it's a easier way to making any website chat compatible using the open standard, right? So it is like powering the website with the AI, like how the HTTP did for the documents. And let me now talk about how it work, right? So it leverage the schema.org and then RSS kind of structure, which is compatible with 200 plus million website, and even the LLM also understand this structure, right? So that is the beauty of NLWeb, right? And it also use the vector DB and some other DBs for the information retrieval. So now let me talk about how this NLWeb process the query, right? What is the life cycle of this NLWeb? uh, so essentially, as you can see here, like when the customer submits a query, right? And NLWeb simultaneously it makes tons of call to LLM, right? To do the relevancy check to see whether the query user is asking whether it is relevant to that website or not, right? It also do the check for prior history, where essentially it check when the user ask a question whether it is relevant to the previous question or not. And it also does the check for memory. So essentially in that it check whether the question user ask where the user want to save that information for future perspective or not, right? And then it also do the decontextualization, and essentially in the to be step. So it's for some of the query where it doesn't need to wait for LLM, it directly go to the vector DB and then retrieve the information, right? And this is called fast tracking. And then on the third step, essentially what it does is it does the ranking, and essentially also make a call to LLM to prepare a summary for explaining for that ranking threshold. And then on the fourth step, when the pre-processing complete, results may be altered if the query determined to be irrelevant to this site, and it was missing the key pieces of prior information, and or if additional information is needed to be considered, right? And then NLWeb app will wait until the pre-processing is complete to complete the ranking to ensure the information is considered. And once the pre-processing is done in the fifth step, then actually and the results have been ranked, then the most highly rated result are written to the user. So this is how is the life cycle of the query in the NLWeb. Now let me jump onto the demo. And essentially in this demo, I have already downloaded or the RSS feed for one of the podcasts, right? And essentially through this this NLWeb framework, essentially it has a capability where you can download the data, and then internally it compute the embedding, and then ingest that embedding into the different kind of vector DBs, right? So essentially let me just refresh this. And here the data which I'm leveraging is it that is about the behind the tech podcast. So let me just go ahead and ask question here about the book author as Kevin Scott. Okay, so let me just go ahead and select the site, and then so here there are different modes, right? So we can use the list, we can also do the summarization, we can also do the generate. And essentially in this I'm using the quadrant local. And then let me just go ahead and ask this question here. Okay, so now it is going to this particular site, and then it responded this bunch of link with list, right? And I can go ahead and see click on this debug option, which will show me what is happening behind the scene, right? So this is the response it used, and this was generated from the database, right? So it did the semantic search on the quadrant db, and it returned this bunch of links. And now I can go ahead and ask summarize. So let me go ahead and ask the same question again. And then essentially what it will do is it will get the detail, along with that actually it will also provide the summary. So this is written the summary, right? And one more thing we can try here is generate. So it will generate the text for this particular question. All right, so I think it's generating, and we can also see what is going on here, right? So we can see in the terminal, we can see all this information here, what it is doing internally, right? So all this data is available in this telemetry data. Okay, so I think it responded, and we can see here, right? So it's generated, and it also returned some bunch of links. Okay, so this is how we can use this through this website. So now let me provide you the walkthrough, like how did I set up this, right? What are the component it is using, right? So let me go to the Microsoft GitHub NLWeb GitHub website, and essentially here you can find all the code, and then this also has a very good documentation. And let me first go to this hello world on your laptop. So this provide the instruction about how we can set up, right? So first thing we have to do is we have to clone the code, right, from this GitHub repository. Second step is actually we have to create an environment and then activate the Python environment, right, in the VS code, right? And I have done this step. Then third step is we have to download the all the required dependencies which are mentioned in this required requirements.txt file. And then fourth step is actually we have to clone this environment file, and then in this environment file we have to define the LLM key, and then some other things. And then we have to update this config files, right? So this is very important, right? And let me go ahead and show you in this code here. So basically this is the config code, and this config underscore embedding YAML. So this has a detail about the all the embedding options, model options, right? And these are the default options are provided, like OpenAI, Gemini, Azure OpenAI, Snowflake, right? And in this example I'm using this OpenAI, so I have just changed here paper provided to OpenAI. Okay, and now for the LLM perspective, so these are the LLM it support right now, and I'm using this OpenAI. So I have provided my preferred provider as a OpenAI, and in this case actually it will use let's go here. Okay, so it will use this GPT hyphen 4.1, and then low it will use GPT hyphen 4.1 mini. And these are the bunch of setting for login. We can keep default. And this is the NLWeb file. Basically this talks about where it store this embedding data, and then this is the instruction for the model for formatting the output, and this is for the retrieval. And then actually there are many options here, and in this case I'm using the quadrant local. So that's why I have mentioned here my preferred endpoint is quadrant local, and we don't need to change anything. We just need to change here which DB we want to leverage. And this is about the bunch of instruction for setting running this app, right? And this will run on the port 8000, and this is about the config. So let me go back to the Microsoft documentation. Okay, here. Okay, so essentially now once we set up this config file, then we have to download the data, right? So this is the command we have to use. So python hyphen m tools.db underscore load, and then here you have to provide the RSS URL, and then you have to provide a site name, right? So this is the one of the example. This is the RSS feed URL, and this is the site name, right? So this site name will get created in the vector DB, and then once this is done, we can just run this command. Let me just go to VS Code, and let me open the terminal. Okay, where is the terminal? I can go here, open terminal. Okay, so since this is on my this folder, let me just go here. Okay, let's go to code folder, and then I have to activate the environment. So let me just grab this code from here and then activate. Okay, no, I think it will not activate here. I have to go to NLWeb, because my dependencies are in NLWeb folder, so I can activate from here only. Okay, so now this is activated. Now we can run this app. So let me just grab this command from here, and let's run here. Okay, so this is part of app hyphen file is part of the code folder. So let's go to code and then run this. Okay, so this will start my app, and this is just showing some log information. All right, so it is running. Okay, so I think all right, so something wrong here. Okay, so I think I already started server, right? So maybe that could be the issue. Okay, so yeah. All right, so this is how we can set up this NLWeb. Hope you will like this video. Thank you so much.